Filthy.
So we're starting with a bit of machinery maintenance this morning because the last time we were down here, the generator gave up the ghost. It just kept cutting out. At the end of the day, I checked the oil level and it was very low, which makes sense because I can't actually think of any time we've ever topped it up since we've had this generator. And also can't think of us servicing it either. So we've drained the lovely oil out of the engine. We've got some new oil to replace it. However, we don't have a funnel with kind of a bendy tube on the end, and the thing we need to get to is right underneath there, so this is going to be interesting. It's the only thing I could find that fits in. The piece of hose pipe, so we've got this little quick fixing hose attachment on the end, which is going to make it a bit wider to pour it into. Hopefully this will do the trick.
Look. The colour difference of that new oil going in versus the stuff that you pulled out is ridiculous. Mucky.
Okay, generator's working. The lights are, where are they? Back on again. Happy days. So the next quick job we need to do is to fix the jackhammer, because last time we were using it, all of these parts popped off. They're what hold the chisel in place. I still cannot believe we found these in the trench. It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Not too far.
Ooh. Success. There we go. So that's all of our machinery ready for the day. Last week we shoveled in all of the gravel that we need to start making the sub base for our new concrete slab, but we were literally just hauling it in as quickly as we could at the end of the day. So right now we need to start moving it all around and focusing on getting it level. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we just want to try and get it roughly as even as possible before we compact it down and put the sand on top, just to make life a bit easier. We don't want to end up with a big old wonk. Got no idea how this got like this, but somehow, even though this has never been used, it's been sat indoors on a shelf, it's completely rusted over. So this is our tamping bit, I guess you would call it, for the jackhammer. So this is going to help us compact the gravel down inside, make a solid sub base before we put the sand blinding on top of it. Ready to move in?
Yeah, it's indoors, outdoors living. Feeling a little bit daunted actually. Excited to get on with it, but daunted just by how many layers there are to a floor. Like when you're stood on a tile floor, you never appreciate how much work there is that you're just standing on top of that you never see.
Yeah, this gravel is going to be the first of many layers to make up this floor before we get to finished floor. It's going to be this compacted, then sand on top, also compacted. Then we're going to have our damp-proof membrane to stop any rising damp coming up into our concrete slab. What's next?
So we've got our slab.
Yep.
Adhesive. Tile backer board with insulation in the middle of. More adhesive. with underfloor heating inside, and then tile.
Bingo.
Big boy.
Oh, quite heavy.
Is it feeling compacted?
Yeah. Gonna take a while. It's where you need a push along whacker plate.
I can't hear how loud I'm talking with these mufflers on.
Very loud.
You're welcome. When we set up the new solar array, we had to dig up these two little citrus trees and just pop them up, because where they were planted, they were just going to completely get shaded out by the panels. But I was looking at them and I did think they looked a little bit lost in the garden, because they are only quite weeny at the moment. But I thought that they could look quite cute either side of the door. You know, like the vibe where you have those really pruned bay trees. I just always like the look of that. So it's going to be like a Portuguese version of that. So I'm going to put one of them here and then the other one here, but both of these areas are admittedly a little bit neglected. So first things first, I need to get my green fingers, green thumbs, all the digits. I need to get my green digits on and do a little bit of weeding.
Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is an all-in-one website building platform, and they can help you with every aspect of building your online presence. So if you've been dreaming up an idea for a project or business for a while, but you've kept putting it off, with Christmas around the corner, it's the perfect time. Maybe you've got a bit of time off work, and with Squarespace, you can build a website in just a few days. You can either select one of their templates or use their design intelligence feature to let AI build the website for you. If you've already got a catchy little name for your project, then you can search to see what domains are available and purchase it through Squarespace. And one of my favorite features is Squarespace Payments. It makes checking out and paying super easy and convenient for your customers. We love Squarespace. We're using it to build our site, and you can use it yourself for free. Click our link below to get a free trial. And if you love it as much as we do, use our code LIFEBYLIVING to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Just looking here, I reckon I've probably got enough rocks just to kind of make a little border around here. Why not? If I've not got enough, I'm sure I can scavenge one or two from elsewhere on the land. You're the star of the show. You are. You are. Seeing as we can grow weeds anywhere we don't want them, definitely need to use a little bit of this. This is just some old landscaping fabric from where we had the old solar panels. Waste not, want not. Well, no one's winning the Chelsea Flower Show, but it does look a little bit brighter around there, a little less weedy. I don't really go in for New Year's resolutions too much, but I did think the other day that I might try and make a mental note to have maybe like a running list of jobs that maybe take 20-ish minutes from start to finish, and just have them to kind of have as quick wins. And also, it's just when you've got such a huge task as building the house or even just doing the floor, it's nice just to have that for like a little bit of motivation. I can hear the generator and the drill still going at it, so I'm going to go check that Ricky's all right and see if he's winning with the gravel. Well, that's a positive sign, I think. He's already getting some of the sand in. Does that mean you've done all the compacting for the gravel?
Yeah, taking a lot longer.
Right.
than I wanted to, though. The generator's not working properly.
Oh, poo.
The voltage just keeps dropping down to 50, which obviously isn't enough to power stuff. Then a little while off, and then it comes back again, it goes off again. So I can see the lights are out now, so it's off at the moment. So I've been stop, start, stop, start. This is ridiculous.
I can't work in these conditions.
It's like I'm working in a power car. Right. I've had enough of this for now. I think I'm going to have to try and figure out what to do with the generator and try and have a more productive day tomorrow.
Yeah, things have gone a bit pear-shaped, hey?
Yeah. I know that the generator has kind of a voltage regulator in it to try and keep it consistently at the 230 volts that's coming out. So I don't know if that's the problem, whether that needs replacing. Maybe there's some hack or trick that we can do with it tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be difficult to source that replacement. A little bit of a typey on the keyboard tonight on Google. We'll see where we get to in the morning.
That'll warm your cockles.
Ooh,
Gosh, that's got a kick.
that's strong. What'd you put in there?
I didn't test it, I just poured it.
God, blimey.
Woohoo! Party time.
I mean, I can literally inhale the alcohol before it touches my lips. I'm only meant to put, don't you put sugar in mulled wine?
Oh, I didn't use a recipe, I read a recipe. I think you should put some sugar in it, just some sugar in it.
Yes, please. So I was up this morning, taking apart the Jenny, attempting to try and find out what the problem is. The coil doesn't appear to have any damage, so I don't think that's an issue, and everything else looks fine. So I am 95% sure that this little guy here is the problem. This is the voltage regulator. I took this into our local town this morning to try and get a replacement, but no joy. They're all telling me to go to the city. So I'm gonna have to wait off until this afternoon to do that, because by the time I travel just over an hour there, most of the place is shut for lunchtime. So I'm probably gonna end up on a bit of a wild goose chase, going shop to shop to try and find it. I've got a very sleepy colleague this morning.
These are really dark. I don't think you could see I got my eyes shut. Yeah, did not sleep well last night. Obviously, too much mulled wine excitement for me. I'm just trying to rally myself a little bit, because it has been a really frustrating week and nothing seems to be going our way with this job at the minute. It's just one thing after another.
Yeah, our plan this week had been to finish off the French drain. However, our delivery of the perforated pipe and the fabric to wrap it all in was supposed to come on Wednesday. Didn't arrive. We were told it would come Thursday. It didn't arrive. We were promised it would come Friday, and lo and behold, it didn't arrive. And to top it all off, this company sent us an email at close of business on Friday afternoon to actually tell us they didn't even have it in stock. So they've just lied to us the whole time, which is very frustrating. It was then obviously into the weekend, so we couldn't even order the things we need from the builder's merchant to get the floor poured. So yeah, just feeling a little bit in limbo and yeah, a little bit unmotivated, but there's still things to do, so we need to perk up a bit. We've got about an hour and a half until I need to head off to try and get this generator part, so all of this needs moving, all this stone, all this soil, because none of it is going back in, and round the back as well. So get your shovel at the ready, madam. Time to get digging. This is a laugh, isn't it?
Who says shoveling and moving concrete can't be fun?
Me, that's who.
No, come on. This always baffles me, but 9 out of 10 times, if you're going to do a digging project on this farm, you're guaranteed to find a shoe or part thereof. I'd love to know the context in which somebody just decided to drop it and just go barefoot. I've been trying to get into a good routine with trimming the dog's nails. They just grow so fast, and because we don't tend to walk them on pavements very much, they don't have that chance to wear down on their own. So it is down to us to keep them at a healthy, shortish length. Thankfully, neither Ted nor Pop are afraid of having the nails cut or the Dremel that we use, but neither of them have got very much patience for it either. This is hopefully the secret ingredient, some fresh chicken breast. I'm not too proud for a bit of blatant bribery. Are you done? Yeah? Hello. Good girl. Good job. Well volunteered. Nipple. Thank you. Good job. Good girl. Yeah, you can't have the whole box. Yay. Oh, that's a good girl, baby. Good girl. Good girl. Give me a paw. Yeah. Give me a kiss. Oh, good job, Papa. Good girl. Have a break. Teddy, here. And Teddy, lie down. Good job, buddy. Good boy, Teddy. Oh, good job, buddy. Good boy. Give it your best wiggles. Well, I'm putting that down as a great success, even if I did lose a couple of my own nails in the process. So Ricky's mission yesterday was successful. You've got the part.
Well, I got a part.
True.
It's effectively the same componentry. Everything is the same size. All the fitting, what do you even call that? Fittings?
Yep.
Connections.
That's a better word.
All the connections are the same, but obviously, as you can see, it's a different shape. This one's square, this one's rounded. I'm pretty sure this is gonna still fit because the actual thing it's going into is round. One thing I didn't notice yesterday when I bought it was how much more this part of it sticks out than that one.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a void behind there, so let's get it in and hopefully it works. Happy days. We're fixed, we're up and running. Needed a bit of adjusting because it was only outputting at like 200 volts, but little adjustment, and now we seem to be cooking on gas. Should we start getting some more sand in?
Yeah, let's celebrate.
Let's put it back together first.
Here you go, finally a bit of good news. You're the proud owner, finally, of a long-handed shovel. The guy was just like, I don't know what's in this box. It was so big and floppy.
Completely forgot we'd ordered this. It's come a bit late, we could have done with this this morning.
I know.
Yeah, people say to us all the time in the comments of like, oh, why didn't you get yourself a long-handled shovel? Yeah, you might find it hard to believe, but these just aren't common here at all. I've literally never seen one in a shop. I mean, we had to get this one online, and to be honest, pay a bit of a premium for it, much more than I'd prefer to pay for a shovel, but my back is worth it, and my back is sore after the work we've been doing recently, and we've still got this slab to lay, so yeah, at least we got one now. It'll be put to good use. There we go, one compacted layer of sand. I'm so relieved that the generator seems to be fixed, because if that wouldn't have worked, today wouldn't have been possible, and it would have been a bit of a disheartening day. But yeah, we've managed to press on and get all this done and compacted. But yeah, it wasn't the easiest trying to get hold of that part, I have to say, so I'm glad it worked. I had to go around probably 6 or 7 different shops and workshops where they serviced like generators and pumps and things like that to try and get one, to no avail. And this is one of the things I love about Portugal. The last place I went to, he said, yes, I can get it for you, but it'll be a few days until it comes. And I said, I can't wait a few days, I need it today. And when I said that, he got on the phone, gave me directions to this place. Didn't really know what was happening. Anyway, when I got there, it turned out it was his supplier. And he just sent me to his supplier, lost himself the sale, but helped me out on the day. Love that about the people here. So generous, so kind. Made my day. We're going to be mixing all the concrete for the slab ourselves. It's not going to be a pre-mixed thing being brought in on a truck. We're just going to be doing it with cement mixers. So we're going to need a lot of water. when we did the concrete ring beam, we just took down so many bottles filled up from our rainwater tank, like 6-litre bottles full of water, but it was a lot. So we're not going to do that this time. Instead, we've got this IBC, which at the moment, because we've had rain, we're not really using it for the garden. So it's virtually empty anyway. We're just taking out the last bit. We're going to take it down by the tiny house, right by where the mixer's going to be, fill that up, and then we'll have a water supply on hand. We've just noticed how much algae there is at the bottom of this. We do have a UV cover on it, but it doesn't seem to be doing the best job.
Yeah, it's not 100%, but we're going to have to give it a rinse, I think, before we use the water out there for the concrete. Otherwise, it's going to be a nice greenish hue on the floor.
Bringing the outside in.
Ready? 2, 3. We're still quite unsure about how we're going to save the water off of the roof down here, because although Portugal for a lot of the year is quite dry and hot, when it rains it really pours. And for example, up at the top house we've got a 30,000 litre tank, which is where all our rainwater goes into, and even that starts to overflow, so at times we have to open the tap just to stop it from overflowing. To give you a bit of scale, this is only 1,000 litres, so we can't really have 30 of these beside the house. From the start we'd always said we'd like a wildlife pond, didn't we?
Would love to have a pond, but the problem is if it feeds into the pond, the time when we're going to need that water the most is going to be in the summer when it's really dry. Yeah. It's also going to be the time when the pond's going to dry up, so it's not really an option for the water storage. Right, should we get this filled up?
Let's go. Is it looking squeaky clean in there now?
I don't know about that. It's definitely much cleaner. We'll just pour this last bit out and then we'll get it filled up.
Oh, I'm stood here. So this is the final layer that needs to go down before we're able to pour the new concrete slab. It's there to basically stop all the rising damp going up into our new slab and then into the flooring. And this layer, along with the insulation, is going to be the biggest change for our new floor and something that we were definitely missing from the original one. Right, so that's the membrane down, and it now looks like we are the proud owners of a giant slip and slide. We will see you next week where, providing there's no mishaps, we will be pouring our massive new concrete slab.